Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Today I wanted to go over what I learned investing in the year 2021, what I plan on changing in 2022, as well as what all of you can do to prepare for the year of 2022, whether you're a new or experienced investor. I believe that this will clear my head, save time, and allow myself to give more focus to bigger picture goals that I have, both in my business and personal life. Before starting, I wanted to share a breakdown of my current net worth. As of the end of 2021, I'm holding about 68% of my total net worth in stocks. I'm holding about 3% in crypto, 2.5% in cash, and the home equity that I have on my house is currently about 27% of my current net worth. 2021 was a great year of investing for me. Between the gains that I had on my investments plus my deposits into my investment accounts, I was able to double my net worth in just a calendar year. And as you can see, by far the largest portion of my portfolio is in the stock market. If you watched a previous video of mine that I'll link up in the corner here on index fund investing, you'll know that I'm an index fund investor. I'm not a stock market professional and I don't pretend to be. So 95% of my current holdings are in US stocks, and that's split basically 75% towards S&P stocks like VOO or VTI, with another 25% into tech ETFs and stocks like QQQ or VGT, as well as some small holdings in Tesla, Microsoft, and EXPI. So this includes a few different accounts, one of which is a Roth IRA. Another one is what's called a SEP IRA that I contribute to every single year as a self-employed individual. Every year I contribute as much as I possibly can to the IRA accounts, but by far the biggest percentage of my portfolio is in the standard taxable account. In the year 2021, my return on investment was about 25.5% compared to the S&P's return on the year of about 27.5 to 28%. So I was almost in line with the S&P on the year, which is not a surprise since most of my holdings are in S&P 500 ETFs. Historically, these are great returns, and the last 2 years of stock market returns has honestly made investing in the market addicting to me. But as the year went on and I saw more people on YouTube or even in person, making big life-changing money on meme stocks or Bitcoin, I started to get a dreaded case of FOMO, fear of missing out. So I let my emotions get the best of me and I made some short-term trades on some riskier stocks. That resulted in me losing about $4,000. Now, even though losing $4,000 really sucks, I see it as a very cheap lesson in the grand scheme of things. To never base your investing on emotion and to be patient. In regards to cryptocurrency, I'm not a crypto expert by any means, but I do see the long-term value of it as an asset class, especially as the Fed keeps printing money and inflation continues. But it's simply too volatile to overcommit to crypto right now, especially after the huge gains that they had in the year 2021. So I have been slowly dollar cost average investing into both Bitcoin and Ethereum, trying to keep my emotions in check and not check the price too much. In regards to real estate, the only piece of real estate that I have, as stated previously, is my primary residence. This is going to change soon, more on that later. I recently uploaded a video on how I applied for and got approved for a home equity line of credit for almost up to $200,000. In that video I go over the figures, but here they are again. I bought the house for $735,000. I put about $60,000 into renovations and repairs into the property, and as part of the home equity line of credit, they appraised my house. When it appraised for $870,000. That means I created $70,000 worth of equity in the property. I don't see my primary residence as an investment at all. I made all of those renovations to make the house more usable and enjoyable for my family and I. But it is good to know that I could value add into the property. That way when I go to sell the property, I'll probably be in pretty good shape. This brings me to my proposed changes that I have for 2022. Starting with real estate, I plan on buying 2 rental properties in the year. Since this is somewhat of a new channel, you may not be aware, but I'm a real estate investor as well as a real estate agent. Real estate flipping and investing is how I got started. I flipped a condo in 2016, I flipped another one in 2017, and then in 2018, I took on the biggest project that I have yet to date, and that was buy a vacant lot and build a new construction spec house. I started construction the end of 2018, and the house was basically done towards the beginning of 2020. I eventually closed on the home in April of 2020 when the COVID panic was just starting. So after selling the home and getting a large lump sum of profit plus my initial investment back, I started investing it heavily into the stock market. And I took a back seat temporarily in real estate investing. So here we are 2 years later. The stock market returns have been amazing. And I did really luck out timing wise. But I do currently feel a little bit over invested into the stock market. But I also do not miss the fix and flip that are a ton of work for a quick payday. So my plan for 2022 is to start a search of off-market multifamily rental properties and use some of my stock market gains from the past 2 years as down payment. I could also use the aforementioned home equity line of credit for renovations and other out-of-pocket expenses. In regards to stocks, the change that I'm most focused on is to just get back to basics. I'm going to continue to dollar cost average into broad index funds because it has worked for me so far, and it has over 100 years of historical precedent showing you it's the best way to build wealth in the stock market long term. You see, you have to know yourself. If you won't go crazy having 80% of your net worth in Tesla, good for you, but I know I would. Even with my small investments, I found myself obsessing over the quotes in the news for that particular stock. Even though it was such a small percentage of my portfolio, I couldn't help it and I let it get the best of me. Every couple of years, I feel like I have to go through this FOMO cycle where I buy a bunch of speculative stocks, I end up losing money, and I eventually teach myself and learn again that index fund investing and ETFs are the best way for me. For crypto, I also plan on taking the emotion out of my investment decisions. Just like stocks, I would find myself obsessing over a 5% drop in Ethereum. So I recently transferred all of my crypto holdings into BlockFi, who pays you a pretty good return back on your investment. And I also set up an automatic deposit and purchase of Bitcoin and Ethereum on the 1st of every month. That way, I'm not trying to time the market and it takes emotion completely out of the decision making. Set it and forget it. So what should you do in 2022? If you have less than, say, a few $1,000s, you may want to skip investing into the stock market completely and either invest in yourself, start a business, or just keep saving so you could use it for something bigger in the future. This is because with that amount of money, the stock market may not be your best return on investment. If you put $3,000 in and the stock market goes up 10% in a year, you made $300. Not exactly worth it. Once you start getting closer to maybe the $10,000 or more range, the stock market may give you a pretty good return on your investment. You're also getting even closer, depending on your market, on an amount that you could put as a down payment on a piece of property, of real estate, which is exactly how I started, and I made a great return on my first few investments very quickly, although a lot of work is required. With real estate, you could take that 10 grand and turn it into 50 using leverage pretty quickly. But if you're looking to get started in the stock market, no matter what amount, I always recommend and follow the bogglehead approach. I've made a video about this previously that I'll put a link for up in the corner of the video. In simple terms, the boggleheads approach preaches investing into broad index funds consistently, no matter what the market is doing. Some of my favorite index funds to do this with are simple VOO or VTI index funds that track the S&P 500 or the S&P 1500. It's a great way to be diversified very quickly and easily. Once again, set it and forget it. Now, guys, this is not financial advice. I'm not a pro by any means, so do your own research and make sure that this strategy is right for you and your risk tolerance. Also, keep in mind as well that there's always risk in the stock market. They don't always go up in the short and medium term, but in the long term, US stocks are a pretty good bet. So as long as you have a long-term horizon on investing, you should be good to go. Lastly, even though this isn't specifically investing related, I do find it necessary to mention that I plan on making a big change in regards to what I give back and my charitable donations going forward. It is very, very easy to get caught up in investing for yourself and your family, and for good reason, especially when you're young and just starting out in your life. Whether you're looking to just maximize your returns or starting that new business from scratch, every dollar counts, I get it. But it's also just as important to give back to charities and causes that you appreciate and mean something to you, especially after such great returns in the market the past couple years. Overall, right now I feel like I'm in a really good spot investing. But going forward, my plan is to really just take as much stress and emotion out of it as possible. I heard an interesting quote one time that basically said, "Your money is like a bar of soap. The more you handle it, the more it disappears." That is it for today, guys. Thank you again so much for watching. Let me know what your 2022 investing goals and plan changes that you have in the comment section down below. If you got enjoyment or any value from this video at all, please hit that like button down below and hit subscribe. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. It really helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Until next time, and thank you so much for watching.